Sorry, Mark. It's not fair. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve this.
Please don't beat around the bush, and I don't wanna push, but you're making this hard. I know something's going on. There's dishes in the sink and trash in the front yard.
Mark Grayson, not to be confused with Dick Grayson, is the title character of the Amazon Prime show, Invincible. I had to do that, just once. Invincible is a superhero show, produced by the same company that gave us this, and was also written by the man who gave us this. So you'd expect Invincible to share the same merits, but it does something unique. It gives us hope. It gives us sincerity to the story it's telling, something you might seem to lose in most Cape adaptations. On paper, you have a villainous Superman father figure and a Peter Parker type of lead. Two of, if not the most recognizable superhero stories ever told as your lead characters. But yet, it takes itself with the utmost respect as far as emotions. Mark, Eve, Debbie, and hell, even Donald are given proper moments to flesh out how they feel in this world of superheroes. They have regular problems like you and me. And from the beginning, we know who Mark is supposed to be. He's supposed to beat his dad. He's learning and training for this. Until...
What will you have after 500 years?
You, Dad. I still have you.
He doesn't. Mark loses to his dad, and he leaves. It was at this moment that Invincible clicked for me. This show reminded me of another that shared a lot of the similar feelings and character tropes. A show that was spectacular. Spectacular Spider-Man was an American animated TV show that was created by Greg Weisman and produced for the Morning Cartoon Block back in 2008. This show followed Peter Parker a few months into his early career as the title character. He's young, he's inexperienced, he's still figuring things out, and the same can be said for his fellow cast. Harry Osborn, Gwen Stacy, Eddie Brock, and Norman, the Green Goblin. Like Invincible, we know what we are building up to. We're building up to that fight. Spidey versus the Green Goblin, Peter versus his surrogate father. And through this build-up, we follow this mystery of, will he be caught? Will Norman ever drop this facade and show himself? Or are we waiting? Waiting for the moment when the switch is flipped. Invincible carries that same merit. We know who the bad guy is. We know that they will be at each other's throat. But it's that long mystery that carries the first season. Spidey and Invincible are young heroes that are still finding out what they want, if they are doing enough for their city, their friends, their future. And it's that charm that we understand because we've been there. We've been concerned if we are doing enough. The only difference is that we don't have these powers to punch away our problems. And the same can be said for their fellow cast. Gwen is dealing with a friend who's dismissive and leaves at a moment's notice. She knows something is up, but she never figures it out. Eve is dealing with Mark always being on another mission because he has to help Cecil. Harry, Peter's best friend, is dealing with a dad who doesn't even acknowledge him, and William knows Mark is invincible, but tries to assist even though it puts his life out of order. These characters, along with many more, are carried throughout the show with respect and given proper episodes to flesh out. Mark has the double life that affects his circle immediately, and Peter has a life that affects his circle continuously. As for Norman and Omni-Man, these villains are for the most part carried under this disguise of what everyone else thinks they are, just everyday dads. But both of them carry this underlying secret. Their real goal has been building in the shadows until those final moments when Mark and Peter both figure it out.
Calm down! This is insane! What do you think is gonna happen? That I'm gonna go enslave my friends for a bunch of aliens I've never met? This is my life! These are my people!
We have a responsibility to build.
I don't give a shit about filtering.
You framed your own son?
I protected Harry. If I'd been sent to prison, who'd have made a man out of him?
And in both cases, it's devastating. Devastating it took this long to realize it. Because secrets hurt. And that's what brings us back to reality. It reminds us why we love stories like this. Why we enjoy when payoffs finally happen and when heroes can be real with how they feel. They don't play these moments for laughs. They play these scenes for sincerity. And it's things like this that remind me of when I was a kid watching Peter, and now as an adult watching Mark. These stories might be the same, but they carry these messages in completely different lights and avenues for depth and their audience. And that's why we love superheroes. We love the idea of people who can prevail. A hero inspires us to do more, to grow, to become better. And Mark Grayson, Peter Parker, they are us. Just trying to do as much as the next guy. Because he's spectacular. And he's invincible.
'Cause I